Hey everyone, I'm back this week to go through the breakdown of the Packers Redskins matchup. And so last week I released a breakdown of the Packers Vikings game and how that panned out, and asked for comments and requests, and someone came back with a request asking for a game preview. So I went ahead and released a game preview for the Packers and Redskins, and it was the first time I've ever done it. And so I just wanted to see some of the things I saw on tape if they would manifest themselves in the real game. And so this breakdown is going to be a little different from the other breakdowns because since I have released a preview, I actually wanted to compare what I wrote in the preview and what I saw and predicted we would see in the real game. Just to lend some credibility to all the videos I've been putting out and just kind of show how watching my videos and going through these teams, the plays that actually manifest themselves in real life. And so not doing this video to brag, I'm doing it just to compare to see how, watching these game tapes and some of my videos can really show how things can happen in the real game. And so let's go through just the 4 points that I made in the game preview. And it was pretty much just, I think I made 5 points generally. And four of them manifested themselves in the real game and ended up being really, really important points. And the very first one was I noted how when Washington played cover three and occasionally even cover one, whenever DJ Swearinger was the single high safety, he was biting really, really hard on any plays down low in the middle. It really just didn't matter. His tendency is just to break hard, and I showed that in some of the interceptions in that game, but said that we would try to exploit it. Well, we did, and we tried to exploit that many times. One of them led to the Geronimo Allison touchdown, and I'll show you that. And the other one should have led to a Randall Cobb touchdown. And then there was even a few other plays where we capitalized on it, but not as big of plays as those two. And so, again, something we noticed on film, the Packers noticed, and they exploited it, and it was two huge plays. Um, the next thing I noticed or noted in that preview was the slant flat combo that we would use that in the game. I showed a formation with two receivers on one side, a running back, and a tight end lined up in line on the other side. And thought that we might use it that way. We used it in all sorts of concepts, but I noticed that I said that was my favorite play of the whole preview because I thought we would use it a ton in the game. And it was our most heavily utilized route concept all game long. We used it over and over and over, and it was successful. And I'll show you a few things of why, if we had just caught the ball or just been a better, more accurate throw, the game would have been totally different. Number three, the sweep motion. How whenever the Colts put someone in motion backside, the Redskins flowed so hard. Well, the Packers didn't actually use it as much as I thought they would with Randall Cobb or someone else. But they did use it on one of the most important third down conversions in the game in the third quarter. And they basically brought Cobb around, threw it wide to the outside, Aaron Jones, and he got a really, really important first down. And lo and behold, the defense bit so hard, it just opened a lane for Aaron Jones to easily run through. And then finally, the max protection play action that worked for the Colts. Well, it would have worked for the Packers, and it would have been probably a touchdown, if not a really big play, if our offensive line could have just blocked. I mean, it's max protection play action for a reason, and it's to get those receivers deep and get the secondary confused, and that's exactly what happened. And the line just didn't hold. But it was another thing I showed in the preview. We would run and would be successful, and it would have been if we had played the way we played against the Vikings from an offensive line standpoint. But going through the storylines too, to go back into a traditional breakdown as well, I didn't have as much to say in terms of a breakdown about this game as I did against the Vikings and Bears because this game just pissed me off. We beat ourselves essentially. The refs beat us a little bit with some just shit fuck calls, but I mean, we just beat ourselves. Rodgers' throws were just a bit off. He missed 2 touchdowns. He missed one really, really important third down early in the game. And then when he did come through, we had terrible drops. Randall Cobb, third opening drive on third down, open, just dropped it. Way late in the game, Lance Kendricks down the field on a delayed wheel route, wide open, hit him right in the hands, dropped it. I mean, we just beat ourselves offensively. I'm not even going to get into the defensive performance of this game because honestly, I didn't feel like watching it. You could blame our safeties too. I mean, Kentrell Bryce is really not playing well. He's been shit. Clinton Dix isn't even playing as well as he has been. He had a great pick in the game though. He stepped up this game more. But Kentrell Bryce, I loved him coming out of college, and I've liked him for the Packers this far, but he's really not playing well these first 3 weeks of the year. But I mean, besides all the safety play, we don't even need to get into that. We don't need to get into how shitty the defense played. If our offense had just connected the way it normally does, we would have just straight up won this game. And I'm not blaming the offense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is injured. It's affecting him for sure, and he's just a monster for being able to stay in these games and play with his knee. And the receivers are really good. They just dropped balls today or Sunday, and it was just. I mean, if we had just caught them, we would have still won. We wouldn't have to talk about this other stuff. But let's get into the game film on kind of showing where my previews manifest themselves in the game, and then just show some of these drops. Alright, now we're going to start with the DJ Swearinger storyline, and there were a lot of plays where we really did exploit him on this, but I'm just going to show 2 because they were really big plays, and I feel like that's just enough to show to keep these videos a little shorter, that you get the picture of what I showed you on film in the preview and how the Packers saw it and exploited as well. So this was a missed touchdown pass, and this is an example of where Rodgers just kind of just was a little off, and his receivers didn't help him a ton too. And this play is a great play for cover 3, but mostly just the whole Packers goal was when they saw how much DJ Swearinger jumped these routes underneath. They lined up Jimmy Graham here just to run a hook route and then just snuck Randall Cobb in behind him. Now Cobb does something great. As he's running, he fakes outside because this cornerback's in outside leverage, and just to make sure he buys himself some space, and then cuts past Swearinger. And I mean, Rodgers knows this is there the whole game because he saw it on film. He saw, I mean, his eyes don't lie. This is how Swearinger plays. He's just really aggressive in jumping these underneath things. And it leaves Cobb wide open back here. Now let's just run the play. And Rodgers just misses the throw. So here's Cobb here. Graham running the hook. DJ Swearinger biting. Cobb runs outside, then comes inside. Look how wide open Cobb is. And Rodgers just can't hit him. Or did it hit him in the hands? Let's see from the other view. But, I mean, you can see right on this film, we'll watch it one more time. As pointed out, Swearinger would bite on lower passes, and watch where he does right here, and just leaves this middle of the field that he's responsible for wide open. And, well, not necessarily. In cover 3, the safety is kind of designed to bite down a little bit, but more instinctual safeties won't always bite on that route, and will cover that inside. And, you know, Swearinger's a little less instinctual and more just see someone open in front of them, jump that route. And let's see here if Cobb drops it. Oh, well, that's a hard catch. That could have been more accurate on Aaron Rodgers' part. But, so right there is one play. Now let's get to the Geronimo Allison touchdown and how they exploited that with the same concept. Alright, here's the Geronimo Allison touchdown. And actually, now that I'm watching this play right now, I noticed that Oh, no, no, no. It is single high. Never mind. Yep. So single high safety, Swearinger up top. Whenever the Packers sees, whenever anyone sees this going forward, if you're a Redskins fan watching this game, you need to be concerned about DJ Swearinger and double moves. And also, if you're playing fantasy football and you're going up against the Redskins, you might want to think about utilizing some receivers that in an offense that can pass protect well enough and has an accurate deep ball thrower, because they're going to get DJ Swearinger to bite on this, and this is going to be a problem for them all season long if he doesn't change the way he plays. But here, watch this play right here. Now watch Geronimo Allison down low. Runs this inside slant. So this is again, this is a slant flat combo that I pointed out that the Packers used all game long. But watch this nice little brilliance. He as Geronimo Allison runs this slant, and Aaron Rodgers has this pump fake, and they're basically just trying to get Swearinger to jump a little bit. And you'll watch Geronimo Allison right after the fake. See how he cuts right up there. See, and Rodgers knows he's not throwing it. He's not. It's just a double move, and they knew they could get him to bite on it. And this isn't Josh Norman's responsibility. He's playing the outside. Geronimo Allison's cutting inside. Swearinger just sells out entirely and leaves it wide open. Let's watch it one more time. The slant flat combo I said we utilize all game long, and it was so successful all game long. And the Packers used two concepts to their advantage. One, that they played it that route concept so much, and knew Swearinger will bite on something like this and just use it to his advantage. And Geronimo Allison, all he had to do was subtly fake in on this slant down low and then just cut upfield. I mean, it was so easy. Teams can do this to Washington all year long. So fantasy football, keep an eye out for this kind of stuff. You might be able to get some big plays off of receivers for this. Maybe number two receivers. I mean, number one receivers, maybe even, depending. But this is definitely going to be a weakness on the Redskins defense. But again, so that's going to wrap up the DJ Swearinger storyline. There were a few more plays in this game that this kind of stuff occurred, but this was by far one of the biggest storylines that I pointed out in the preview and that the Packers exploited in real life. Alright, here's one of the max protection play actions that I said would be successful if long as we could block in this game. And this ends up being a 7-yard loss for a sack. But I want to just show you, if we had pass protected properly, what could have been. Max protection, we only sent... Well, actually, we sent the tight end out too. But watch right here. So the Redskins are running cover one man essentially, and so this is kind of a cross wheel route by the Packers receivers. Just want to show, watch these two right here, and then even Jimmy Graham. He's just going to take the safety and the cornerback out of the play. He is not really the first read. The first read's going to be this wheel route, and then the check down's going to be Jimmy Graham. But don't mind Rodgers not having any time. Watch what happens when Devontae Adams clears the cornerback and the safety out. And right here, if Rodgers can step up and doesn't have as much pressure, all he's got to do is lob this down the sideline to Geronimo Allison for likely a touchdown, if not a big conversion. And if he's uncomfortable with making this pass for whatever reason, Jimmy Graham's coming out here wide open. He's got a touchdown here, or at least a 20-yard gain here. But max protection, its whole purpose is to prevent a sack, doesn't do it. But again, we beat ourselves. If we just held up, the play design was perfectly there, and we knew how to attack the Redskins. And again, everything we saw in film from the Redskins, we saw again on Sunday. Everything we do consistently well, we utilized on Sunday. We just one thing off here or there, and we missed a bunch of big plays, and it just didn't work. But it was all there. We just beat ourselves. All right, so this is the very first drive of the game. This is the third down where we were driving. this is 2 plays after the big sack, and yeah, so it's just a drop. So it's 3rd and 9. We get it right. And I said that we wouldn't really run crosses across the field. This game, we did like twice actually, but that was it. And that was how the Colts got a lot of points. But that's not really our style. And this play shows it perfectly. It's just man coverage, though. Remember how I said the Redskins like to blitz and run man coverage? Well, they did this. 3rd down. They blitzed and ran man coverage, and we knew it. And got Randall Cobb wide open, and Cobb just drops it. So, yeah, I mean, whereas the Colts saw on 3rd down blitz and man coverage a lot last week, the Packers saw it quite a bit this game and knew how to exploit it and got the right play call in a play that the Packers do actually run, and it is their style, not crossing routes. And Cobb gets open, Rodgers hits him, and it's a drop. And this is the very first drive of the game, right after they had a good drive. And you know, if we catch this ball and keep the drive going, who knows? Maybe we get 3 points, maybe we get no points, but our defense gets more rest. It changes the field position, it changes the game a little bit, and we got none of that. All right, so this play hammers home 2 concepts that I mentioned in the. It's the game flow and again the slant flat concept. This was the second drive of the game, and this was another big 3rd down, and we run it, and it's successful yet again. Again, we just ran this all day long. It was successful, but on a big 3rd down, Davante Adams gets open, and that's just not the best pass from Rodgers. I mean, I guess he dropped it to some degree, but you know, just not the best pass. But I mean, for the most part, when we ran this all game, it was successful. Now, I could show you so many clips over and over and over again how often we ran this in the game. And from different looks, different concepts. I mean, sometimes we ran this with a tight end in line on the line and then a running back behind him. So we didn't always run it like this to Davante Adams and Randall Cobb all game long, but we utilized it with a bunch of different people and formations and looks. But at the end of the day, it was just used a lot. And again, this is another play where we just dropped it. It's the second drive of the game. We can get momentum back. We can get back in this game. It's a 3rd down. It's important. And we drop the ball again. Or it's not really the best throw. But we beat ourselves again. Alright, my last game preview note was the sweep action, followed by running to the other side. How hard their defense flows on this. And this was a 3rd and 1 in the second quarter. Ultimately, this was the play directly before Geronimo Allison's touchdown. So it was a huge influence in the game because we really needed to convert to stay in the game and keep it going. And it was very simple. Look how hard this Washington line flows. Whenever there's jet sweep action, they just flow so hard to the backside. And look at that lane. I mean, my goodness. And I'm shocked that the Packers only ran this once because we did use it quite a few times against Minnesota. And it was effective, and we've used it in preseason, especially with someone a little more dangerous than Cobb, because not like Cobb isn't dangerous. He's a great runner with the ball in his hands, but someone like Valdez-Scantling or St. Brown they're just faster people. It's just more of a threat, but I did kind of say we probably would use it with Cobb just because. And, I mean, it was incredibly effective. Look, he took 3 defenders with him and just left wide open hole for Aaron Jones there. And Jones probably should have cut it upfield faster. That hole was there for ages. But again, I said we would do it. We did it only once, but used it in a really important time of the game because the next play we threw a huge touchdown pass. All right, and this is going to be one of my shortest breakdowns yet because this is the last play I'm going to show. And this is the fourth quarter. This is our first possession of the fourth quarter. And we still look at the time on the clock. 13 minutes and we're only down 11 points. So if we can keep this drive going, we have a chance, or at least flip field position. And this is just the play where Lance Kendricks drops it again. And um, yeah, I mean, there's 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Despite all of our mistakes, we're still in this thing. And we get in a position, Rodgers makes a play with his bum knee and throws it down the field, and Lance Kendricks just dropped it. And this was just a big storyline. Whether it was Rodgers' throws were just a tad off, or the receivers, it hit them in the hands and they dropped it. Um, just not our best day. And then, of course, between the defensive pass interference calls, the poor safety play, the absurdity that continues to be called against Clay Matthews, and any sack, he's might as well just quit football at this point. Um, we were in this game, and everything we saw in film, the Redskins just ran again. Just nothing about it was special. We had Oh, actually, there was one more play I wanted to show because it was Aaron Rodgers missing um, Toronto Allison wide open in the end zone. I'm not sure when that play was. All right, let's cut over to that play and then we'll call it a. All right, here's that Toronto Allison missed touchdown, and this isn't off the scripted play, but um, it's still relevant because again, a lot of my breakdowns like to show how the game flow went, how teams defended who, why we're so successful, what kind of was the, one team matched and the other team countered, and what we were able to do. But honestly, because I did a preview, my preview really did just show exactly how we could and should attack these Redskins, and we did. We just didn't execute. It was missed passes and drops, and our defense. I actually didn't even look at the film of our defense, and I always do an offensive and a defensive breakdown. I know this is much less comprehensive, but I kind of just didn't feel like watching it this week. I didn't feel like getting into that because I started to watch our offense and was very pleased with what I saw, how we chose to attack them, and what I saw, and that it was all there. We just couldn't execute, and if we had just executed, I mean, we probably could have just won this game. And not that it wouldn't have been close, but one of the big things the Redskins said was that if they get a lead, they're a much different team than if they're behind. Now they scored a touchdown opening drive, I think. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I'm right on that. But they got a lead early, and I showed you the incomplete pass to Randall Cobb on third down where he was wide open and didn't catch it to keep the drive going. And then the very second drive where we ran the slant flat combo to Devontae Adams and the pass was a little off and he couldn't bring it in. And I mean, even just being able to convert those drives, again, it gives your defense rest. You've changed the field position. It really changes the game a little bit. And the fact that we got down early and we still had a chance. The clip I showed you in the fourth quarter, we were only down 11 points with 13 minutes left. Get a big play, and then Kendricks just drops it. That was just kind of the story of the day, honestly. We ran the ball so well. Aaron Jones looked great on his comeback. Jamal Williams was even running well. Ty Montgomery had his moments, but I just wish Ty Montgomery could run something other than just outside zone. But that's besides the point. He's a great player still. We ran the ball at will pretty much on them. We could pass the ball for the most part moving down the field. I mean, if Rodgers was healthy, it would have been a much different story. But I mean, still, regardless, we did what we need to do. Defense could do a little better, and I could have break down what the defense did and why. But I've been doing a lot of these videos lately, and I've not been gaining a lot of traction. I'm going to keep doing them, but my videos are probably going to be a little shorter, and I've just got to start investing time in other things because I'm not gaining as much traction as I was hoping to. I want to keep up with this all, but unless things start growing or I can start doing a little more with this, the videos will probably be a little shorter. They might cut back, might not, depending on what if I have time to do this or not. But in the meantime, I'm appreciative of all my followers and people who have been watching. And hopefully, this breakdown was still sufficient for everyone. It looked like a good amount of people watched the preview. So if you did and you watched this, you probably know what I'm talking about. And hopefully, like, the combination of these two things, maybe going forward in the week, would be good. If you like that, just leave a comment saying keep doing it. Do a preview compared to the game breakdown. And I can go back into doing longer videos of the breakdown if you would prefer. Just let me know. And hopefully, going forward, I have time to keep this up. Meantime, I hope I can continue to grow, and we'll see where everything goes from there. All right, thank you. As always, thank you for watching this episode, and if you like my content and haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I plan to be releasing videos as often as I possibly can, because ultimately I want to make a career out of this, whether it be self-supporting through YouTube videos like this, or something else happens, I get picked up somewhere along the way. And if you like my videos and want to support me financially to continue to do this as often as I possibly can, my Patreon account's up to the top right. And if there's anything that you want me to do a video of or explain or answer, just leave in the comment section and I will be sure to get a video out as soon as I can on that. And I just want to again thank you so much for your support, and moving forward hopefully this can become a good thing.